Hey, what's up guys, this is Samuel G, and I want to share with you an idea that I have for a new series of video on my channel. And it's been a long time since I've been thinking about these particular issues and topic that I want to share with you. So it's like the fruit of a long process, but it's still ongoing. And so I just want to, from time to time, came up with a video and share with you something. And I want to put it there in a playlist on my channel as some kind of like a journal or something. And yeah, so when I first came up on the YouTube RPG community, me and RuneSlinger and I were discussing ideas about method, methodology, or a certain method for gaming, like an approach to how utilize system and stuff as a group. And it was really like the beginning of a long conversation that will eventually spread over time. And the idea of a method or a methodology, morph into the idea of social contract. For some reason, the social contract concept came out, on the scene, and became utilized, really universally by a lot of vloggers and gamers out there. And so the whole idea of the methodology, or a certain kind of protocol for gaming was kind of merged into this broad term called social contract. So what you do in a social contract is that you sit down and you discuss some kind of like a session zero with the players, with the group, and you discuss what it's going to be about, how it's going to be, what's going to be the theme, the genre, the kind of character concepts, stuff allowed, stuff not allowed, table rules, schedules, all this minutiae, this kind of stuff. But there's also some group have a certain way of doing things. And so this kind of idea of a protocol for gaming and stuff would be discussed in the context of the social contract, right? But I've never been really satisfied with this idea, because somehow it kind of mix these two needs together in a way that let one on one side and the other one on the other side, ending up with no method, no real approach to methodology, and eventually just like session zero where we actually organize ourselves, so in a really broad sense. So it stayed in my mind, and then I went into the Technique Consortium page on Facebook, and I had a lot of problem trying to express stuff there, because the concept of the page is to share technique, and ask technical questions that can be approached as solvable, utilizing a certain kind of technique or method to play. And so I never felt really comfortable sharing tips and tricks and technique, because I don't have lots of experience in gaming, and I'm learning still so much. So it was really hard for me to come up with ideas and stuff like that, because for some reason I was not comfortable doing so. And but I was thinking, and then eventually I kind of got it. I kind of had this idea where I realized that my process you know, as a vlogger, as a gamer on YouTube, always has been, you know, triggered by issues. Like I had some kind of problems and issues at the table. I'm sorry, there's a lot of wind. I'm gonna move. Sorry about that. Sorry for the close-up. I hope you can still hear me. This is so bad. Okay. So, you know, since the beginning, when I was gaming, and still today sometimes, but it's really rare. And I was, you know, listening to people sharing their technique and their issues, and I was like, guys, I can't believe, and this is weird, I don't want to come out as arrogant or coming out as like full of myself or something, but honestly I was, you know, all these issues that I was experiencing when I first started as a gamer, some of these guys with like 30 years of experience still had these issues, and I was like, there's something wrong here, because I wanted to share ideas and technique with some of the you know, answering the videos that was coming out, but most of these problems I don't have anymore. And so I asked myself, like, so what's the deal here? Like, am I doing something wrong? You know, because like all these people that I love and respect, I mean, who have way more experience and knowledge than I mean, maybe I'm doing something wrong, because they cannot all be blind to, you know, what I'm seeing. So I stopped posting. I kind of quit a little bit the group, and I think to myself, like, so what am I doing, you know, that actually solve a bunch of these issues, right? So, and I started to realize that I implemented in my gaming. So before I start, I just want to make something clear. I'm not trying to convince you to apply these principles. I'm not trying to tell you that this is the best way to play. I'm not trying to tell you that you should play like that. I'm not trying to tell you that it works for everybody. I'm not trying, you know, I just want to share with you, you know, like some of the principles that I've gathered, you know, reading and studying games and experiencing stuff at the table. And these principles, I believe, are universal. You can apply them to any games, with little exceptions here and there, but I will discuss that, you know, along the way. But mainly, I've been utilizing this template kind of thing. It's like a template. It's like a structure based on strong principles of play, and they solve like so much issues. Like it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I'm like, man, I mean, I don't understand why you want to stay stuck in this experience of play with all these like waste of energy and stupid conundrums that occur in play. You know, I'm gonna give you a couple examples, like receiving an answer from the GM and then repeating it in character. You know, a player, a group of players and character stuck somewhere because they fail a roll. You know, like all this stuff, like the idea of like player skill versus character skill conundrum thing. I mean, etc., etc. I don't have like the list up top of my head, but what I want to do is I want to tackle one issue at a time with the principle I utilize to solve this issue. So it's kind of simple. So and right away I want to, you know, as a disclaimer, I didn't created most of them. I just stole them and learned them along the way. I have at least 3 of them that come from Burning Wheel. I have maybe 2. I have 2 at least of them that comes from Apocalypse World, Vincent Baker. I have some that I don't know. I need to figure it out. But I have some that comes just from my experience that I just started to implement, you know. And so I'm gonna call this series a way of gaming, a way of gaming, or a way to play, or you know, like something like that. It's just so just to summarize, this is just the introduction. The disclaimer is I don't believe this is the best method. I do believe that you can play that way with, you know, like 90% of the game out there, with some little exceptions here and there. I do believe that you can pick and choose these principles, and they will make a huge difference in your experience if you encounter some of these little issues, you know, little issues that I just mentioned, like stuff that just happens and you're like, wow, it's annoying, you know. So I do believe that. So I just want to share them, and I also want to, you know, like just verbalize them for myself and put them somewhere so I can just go back and you know, like think about it or get inspired. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in the playlist, and some of the video are gonna come out from time to time as episode, 1 issue at a time, 1 principle at a time. So just to synthesize this, is that in RPG, you know, there is really common conundrums and little issues that are really just annoying, and they come out of play, just this collaborative storytelling experience as RPG. No matter the game, they will come out somehow. It's a matter of attitude sometimes, it's a matter of skills, it's a matter of social contracts, it's a matter of applying such principles that I will propose in this series. So my intentions is just to, you know, explain an issue, give some example, maybe analyze it, you know, trying to explain where it comes from, what we do that produce this issue or this problem, and then how the principle, when you apply it, actually solve it. And when I'm talking about principle, you know, they're not rules. You don't. It's not house rules or whatever. It's just a way of gaming. It's just you know, some games actually, you know, some group actually do it already. Some people have been doing this for the longest time. You know, some call that house ruling. I don't know, but some designer, Luke Crane, Vincent Baker, for example, they actually wrote them as rules. You know. So, but for me, they're principles, and they are pretty much universal, and they make a huge difference. All right, so thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. And if you have any question or commentary, please just give me some feedback whenever I'm gonna post them. I want to know what you guys think, and maybe learn some principle that you guys have. All right, talk to you soon.